Another way that you can run this flood route is just streak up the outside receiver Robinson, or streak up Robinson, the inside receiver, and that actually will cause kind of an issue with the seams, especially against cover 2. So here's your cover 2 beater that you can attack your opponent. This is Prometheus giving you an offensive scheme that you can throw into your custom playbook, or if you like to use the Chiefs as your playbook. This is probably one of the more unique running plays in the game. I don't think there's a lot out there, but this formation is only unique to the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you're running a custom, you might want to throw this into your scheme. So we're going to be taking a look at the pistol wing flex close. And the play that caught me is a speed option. Many years ago, probably a little bit over 10 years ago, the speed option was a really OP play. I remember running it with the Jackson Jaguars with David Gerard as the quarterback, and really caused, it was a little mini scheme that was very difficult to stop. This is obviously toned down. It's not as glitchy as this one 10 years ago, but it's got a lot of the same fundamentals, and it's got some really good passing plays to go with it. So we're going to take a look at the audibles. We have spacing. I do like this play a lot, in particular because of the inside whip route by the outside receiver. Halfback zone weak essentially is a standard zone play. You want to have that in conjunction with the outside running play we're going to use, which is going to be the speed option. We've got the wide receiver under and the play action boot Y sail, which will set up just like the typical that play action boot that most players use online and a lot of the pro players use. Now the play that I actually want to pull out of the scheme is going to be the wide receiver under, and I want to go ahead and swap it out with a play that I think is going to add a little bit more depth to the passing scheme, and there's not that much. I could use an RPO alert wide receiver screen just to kind of give myself just another touch. But the other play that I want to throw in this scheme is going to be the play action flood. I haven't really settled in how I want to run it. Some of the routes look really good, but we'll play around with that a little bit. Now, out of the huddle, we're going to call this particular play, which is going to be the speed option, and this forces your opponent to defend the wide sides of the field, going out wide, and then allows you to go back inside with a quick audible to the halfback zone. So this is going to allow you to go ahead and have that three-headed rushing attack where you're attacking your opponent wide, and you're actually going to be attacking him on the inside. So let's just go ahead and show you how the run works. Now, defensively, I'm just going to go against random nickel defenses. And basically with this particular run, what you have is your left bumper is going to be the pitch bumper. Ideally, you want to have your fastest running back in the pitch type of situation because you want to have him be able to hit the outside. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and run the ball to preferably the weak side of the formation defensively. So if you count the box, there's 4 defenders off to the right side where there's actually 5 off to the left. It looks like you got a better hole off to the left, but we're going to run this stock. And all I'm really going to do is I'm going to pitch the ball out to the wide receiver if I can't take off my quarterback. So that was a pretty good lockup right there. We're going to go to the opposite side and kind of show you how this works. And what's cool about this is that if there's an over pursue by the defense, you can get your running back really far outside there. So let's just go ahead and do it again. He doesn't over pursue, so we're going to take up with the quarterback. So a lot of you guys like to use really fast quarterbacks. This is a good, a good scheme to actually have if you got the Jacksons, the Kyler Murrays, that type of thing, because you get these type of animations where if a guy comes crashing down, you can do a quick flip with the ball and actually go ahead and get it out. Now you can't obviously spam this. I'm in a practice mode, so I don't necessarily know. What would happen if you put QB option running back, if it bites in the running back and allows you to run with your quarterback a little bit more. So I have, just because I'm labbing this basically with that. But what this does is it stretches the ball out wide. And if you beat your opponent a couple times to the outside, he'll start spreading his defense out to try to stop this little pitch play, and you can flip it either way. So that builds off the inside run. If your opponent really starts spreading his defensive line out in his defenders, you can go with a nice little inside run to catch him off guard. So that's what's great about this, is that you can do that. You just flip into the other running play, which would be the inside zone. You can go the opposite side with it, and basically go and run the ball that way. So you got your three-headed rushing attack inside zone. You've got your speed rushes to the outside where it's a flip play, and it's just really gonna force your opponent to actually be very conscious of that run and then outside pitch. It's just gonna make it very difficult to defend that outside. So let's talk about the passing plays. Passing plays are fairly straightforward. So I've got this play spacing. I can run this stock, but the problem I don't like how this stock is the inside tight end, which is Kelce. He kind of sits in the middle of one of the routes. So what I like to do is the following with Kelce. I either like to streak him up, or I'm going to go ahead and put him on a deep curl. Most of the time I'm going to go ahead and streak him up because that's going to give me a man or zone read. So I'm going to watch Kelce first. He's going to be my hot read. And then if it's man coverage, usually Robinson will be open on the outside with that deep out. Or I've got Hill on the inside whip route, either one of the two. And then I've got some zone beaters off to the right with McKinnon and Gray. So we're going to watch Kelce. If your defender doesn't follow, I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Or I'm basically going to hit this little whip right here. This is what I'm going to take a look at. So let me just show you my reads in instant replay, just so you can see what I'm looking at. This is a cover 2 shell, but I'm going to watch this guy. A lot of times I can hit this route right away. It is important that you try to go and hit this route in the seam, but I was just letting the play develop a little bit more. But you can see this guy comes to the outside, and he has to fall back into it. And what's great about this is this little whip route usually is going to get separation majority of the time, unless the guy's playing underneath coverages where he's playing like 5-yard depth. This route should get separation and always get an easy completion right over the middle of the field, and that's going to drive your opponent crazy because we're going to be able to attack them on the outside with some of these other play developments that we're going to put in this game. We're going to streak up Kelce, and he's going to be our first read. If no one covers him, I want to go and pop that middle seam. I want to force my opponent to take that in consideration. Now we're going to watch, see if Kelce gets carried. Looks like it's one-on-one. Look at the out route. If I see one-on-one, my opponent is in man coverage. If he's using universal man coverage and I see that guy flip his back, I know I'm not going to get that completion. I can always check it over here if I go ahead and just lowball the ball, but I'm going to get a higher percentage combination off to the left with this out route, where I can get a nice little completion. And usually those deep out routes inside the numbers typically will always get good separation. And then obviously this whip route on the inside is going to be available for completion too. Now let's go ahead and take a look to see if we can go ahead and hit these routes right here. So you can see the running back route will be available for you. That should probably throw on that a little bit quicker. And you've also got this route right here that you can hit really quick. A lot of times what happens is the defender will play Gray and then slide over to the running back underneath. So this is going to be your bread and butter pass play that you're going to throw into this passing scheme. And this essentially is going to basically go ahead and just really drive your opponent crazy because you've got easy progressions. And it's just one fast setup with the streak with the tight end to give you a fast read. So the other play we're going to take a look at is going to be the play action flood. I looked at several different ways to run this. I haven't really settled in, so I'll just show you a couple of ways that we can run it. I've got a little hitch route right here. We're going to leave the flat route by the running back, and we'll go ahead and hit the hitch route if the defenders, no one really plays that at all. Again, inside. Guy actually plays it, so I've got a deep in with Gray on the back side right there. And actually a 6 blocker, so that's something you can take a look at. Another way that you can run this flood route is just streak up the outside receiver Robinson, or streak up Robinson, the inside receiver, and then actually will cause kind of an issue with the seams, especially against cover 2. So here's your cover 2 beater that you can attack your opponent with, and if the corner carries with Hill, then the flat should be wide open. And then you've got this dig on the backside. So you don't want to go to that play too much because your opponent can essentially go ahead and clean it up. Another option too is you could just put a little crosser on the backside, and this basically gives you the ability to go and attack your opponent in 2 different levels. And that was just a bad play right there. I shouldn't have thrown that, but you know, that's another option you can do with it. But I looked at the concept with Robinson with the out. It's good, but the defenders are all right in front of each other, and I would hate to. I don't like having giving my opponent the ability to click on really quick and make a play. So I like my wide receivers where there's some separation. They're not on top of each other, and I'm not throwing into routes together. So the last play we're going to take a look at is going to be the play action boot Y. Basically what I want to do is I'm going to do the following adjustments. I'm going to take Kelsey, I'm going to put him on a drag. I'm going to take Robinson, and I'm going to put him on a drag. And then I'm going to go ahead and take Gray and put him on the delay fade. Now, obviously, I want to try to give myself a little bit more time. So what we're going to do is we're going to double team, and we're going to move that double team guy over here to the edge just to give ourselves a little bit more time. And then we're just going to do the standard route progression with all this stuff on how most players are basically going ahead and running this type of a play. One other thing you could do too, you know, with this particular play, basically you can, let's see if we can get this. Okay, so here's your you know, opportunity to hit the sideline with that particular play. You could take one of your guys and actually put him on like some type of a hitch route or something like that to help open it up. But this is the basic, you know, the standard play that most top players will use online, which essentially is the play action rollout play. You got your lower level to hit right away, and then you've got your higher level, which is going to give you that big play down the field and give you the big chunk of yards, and then you have the delayed fade that you can build into it. I'm not a master of it, but it's just the same concept. If you like that concept, you have success with it, you can definitely go ahead and set this play up to give your opponent kind of the same type of a look. And, you know, really like to do is just make your play across the bow. So I'm not throwing this correctly. I don't use both the play action boot Y sail in my schemes. I just don't use these boot plays. I just never really have been very effective with it. So I'm not essentially the student that you should be looking at for these type of plays. But you can see I can get those completions down the field with the crosser. So this builds off pretty much everything. You're going to attack your opponent off the left. You got the spacing stuff where you're hitting your opponent on the inside, and you've got little hitch routes, and then you have the boot going after the right side. Inside zone, and then obviously you've got your pitch play that's going to basically force your opponent to actually go ahead and deal with that stretch play, and that can open up some really big yards for you. And if he makes a missed tackle, he can give up a big touchdown. So guys, I'm going to roll out some more formation breakdowns on my Patreon account for the Chiefs. There's a lot of great plays in here. There's a lot. They've actually updated the playbook a lot, and it's got a lot of good stuff. But I'll try to pump out some weekly stuff to you guys so you can take a look at it. You know, just basically formation once a week. And I'm trying to pin down a defense that I feel that's the most effective and causes confusion. So I think I've almost got it. It's basically a Palms defense out of the nickel normal, and I'll show you some more of that stuff as I release it. So once again, guys, thank you for your support. Until next time.